Hi, I'm Kristin Davis, and I want to know, are you a Charlotte? Welcome back, everybody, to Are You a Charlotte? We have the incredible Elise Cox with us, part 2. Thanks for joining us. Here we go. Okay, so we're outside. We've made it to where they're at your event, where you don't let Samantha and Carrie into the after party. So mean of you, but so funny.
Because they haven't seen the movie,
I know.
Which is so LA.
So LA and so funny that they're like, no one sees the movie. No, we live for movies out here, people. That's our job.
It's a movie town.
It's a movie town.
Yeah.
And you're like, definitely no. And also now it is true. There's like little youngsters like you were at the time, like little people with those lists, like little young people.
Oh my God, they're out there.
They're out there.
On a power trip.
Right.
Yeah. All right. Whatever makes you feel powerful.
Totally. But you do it well. You wield your power well. So then they're like, oh, what are we going to do? So Samantha goes off to get the car. And of course, it's going to take an hour, which is so true. Maybe 2.
Oh my God.
Could
Especially
be 2
at
hours.
that time at an event.
Totally. You are stuck, man.
And you might get another car. I did get another car one night. And you're just like, that's not my car.
Totally. Sometimes you get in the wrong car. I've done that. You're just like, thank God a car is here, and you get in it, and then you realize, no, that's not.
It's not my car.
No. But luckily, out strolls a very tall glass of water named Vince Vaughn, who's talking on the phone. This is when the confusion starts. He's talking on the phone about he's saying something like, well, when she can get back to me, tell her, I'm at an event, I'm busy. Like, he seems very powerful in himself, right?
But he's probably talking to Carrie Fisher, and she's like, get cat food.
Totally.
Get the cat food.
But you have no idea because he really pulls it off, right? Like, he really seems like, I hold the power. So he walks out, and of course, he's delicious looking. And Carrie's there looking also very delicious with a lot of highlighter on her face, I might add.
It is, and it's shiny.
It's shiny, man.
It's pink highlighter. It looks beautiful.
Yeah, we used to have those palettes by, oh my God, I'm not going to remember her name. She still makes makeup, but it's not so popular now as it was then. We had a palette. It had white, pink, tanner, all shiny. And we would open the palette and we would take our hand and we would just rub our whole face.
I love it. I love that you're talking about the makeup because they think people want to know about the makeup.
Do you think
yes.
Trish McAvoy is Trish McAvoy? Yes. And I mean, we went through them, where our hands would be on the metal. You know what I mean? Oh my God. And we would, our shoulders and our collarbone and our chin.
They must have given you a ton of makeup.
Eventually, I don't think it had happened. Maybe 3rd season is when it started coming.
Good.
Yeah,
How
it
fun
came
is
all
that?
kind of crazy makeup and skincare, and we would just use all of it. And I did end up ruining my skin.
Oh no,
I did. Yeah, I got rosacea because I would just put on whatever they sent.
Yeah,
it was a big glycolic acid time.
Oh. I don't like glycolic acid.
No,
it's not good for you.
Burn the bejesus out of me. But I would just be slathering myself and whatever because I thought I had wrinkles. Ha 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 ha. What on earth, right?
Right. I know. When you look at yourself when you're younger, we were so hard on ourselves.
I know
I look at myself in that episode and I was like, oh, I wish I looked like that.
I mean, you're gorgeous. You're gorgeous now. Your eyes, you have all the things. But yes, back then we were little babies and we didn't know it. And we didn't know it. And also the world was very hard on us at the time.
Yeah,
if we had lived through the 90s, we had been through the ringer.
They say most murders happened in the 90s.
Wow. Okay, that's a different podcast, Jennifer.
Sorry.
Interesting. So out walks Keith Travers. That is Vince Vaughn. And for some reason he says representing Matt Damon.
Yeah, what's that?
I know. That's why she thinks he's an agent.
Yeah.
Right. But it's interesting that he says that. But also then so he gets them in the party. So he seems to actually have power. And then someone comes up to him and goes, hey, there's a VIP room. So but that's because he's an assistant to everybody, which we now know. Right. But they don't know this and they don't even know the dynamic of an assistant having so much power because, yes, assistants wield a lot of power, especially if you are somehow Matt Damon, Ben Affleck, Carrie Fisher, and there was
Penny
another.
Marshall.
Penny Marshall. Oh my God. I mean, if you somehow could manage those 4 people?
Pretty amazing.
Wow.
Yeah,
right?
yeah,
why were they all sharing an assistant? What on earth?
Yeah,
Crazy.
why were they sharing an assistant?
I don't
know. And I love how in the episode they talk about this home is so expensive, $3 million.
Oh my God. Every time they said it, I was dying.
Wish.
I was dying every time they said that. I was like, wait, is that even accurate? Is that even accurate? I don't know. But also we don't know how many bedrooms because they only go to that big room with the view.
But anything for $3 million.
I mean, anything, anywhere.
So cheap.
Yes, I'm with you. I'm like, what? What? Anyway, we're back to the episode. Lovely, beautiful Vince Vaughn walks out and he's like, so charming. Good God. Right? And
tall.
Carrie's like giggling.
We're all so short. That's what's funny. Is
Tiny.
everyone is
he's
little
really
tinies
tall.
and he's a giant.
He's giant and thin and dressed beautifully.
Yes.
I mean, he looks fantastic.
Yeah.
Okay. It was very impressive. So, and then he's representing Matt Damon. So they go inside and then he's like, oh, there's a VIP party. Then he asks her to go to lunch and she agrees, but then they have to go look at this house and it shows them driving up the hill. It's so LA, right? It reminded me
Hollywood Hills, right?
No. Yeah. And it reminded me of The Studio. Did you watch The Studio?
Oh, yes.
And all those driving where they at that car episode where they're driving from here to there to here to there. It reminded me of that. They drive up, they look at this incredible house. She thinks he's looking and she's like, wow, why do you need so much space? And he's like, I guess I don't. And then they make out, which is also like, what?
They're making out against the glass.
I know.
Like they're almost doing it.
It's very hot. It's very
In front
hot.
of the
It's very hot.
realtor.
And then the realtor comes out and then Sarah's embarrassed, but he's not embarrassed. I'm like, you wouldn't be embarrassed, Carrie. It's LA, whatever. People are making out all the time, but I wasn't there to say that.
I'm so uptight. I'm uptight like Charlotte. I'm like, ooh, stop.
Really?
I'm thinking to myself, like, stop making out. There's a person there.
Oh, yeah. No, that realtor would be like, I'm going to sell this house. He'd be totally into it. Do you know what I mean?
Right,
Yeah,
that's
it'd be
true.
fine. They're digging
Do
it. They're
whatever you
making
want.
out. You know what I mean? Do whatever you want. Then they go, Carrie says she's starting to like LA, which of course you know something bad's going to happen.
Yeah.
Right. You know, we're going to take a turn after we've said that because that can't last. That can't last. So then she goes to a date at supposedly Keith's house, which is of course beautiful. They're in the hot tub. It's LA. It's so LA. Like it feels so LA and sexy nighttime LA, right? And they're in the hot tub. They're making out. Then it's the morning. And who should come in but Carrie Fisher? And she says something like, did you feed the cats? Or whatever. It's all very funny. And it turns out that Keith is in fact a personal assistant. And Carrie Fisher thinks Carrie's a prostitute.
That's so funny.
It's so funny. And it goes on for so long. And poor Carrie tries to tell her, no, I'm a columnist. Carrie Fisher's unmoved. She's like, she's not convinced.
Not at all.
Not at all. And also, I mean, it's interesting. Carrie's reaction, like she holds it together more than I would have if Carrie Fisher walked in.
Yeah,
Right?
absolutely.
Right. It was all very, very interesting. Like I kind of feel like I need to rewatch that part again.
There's a lot going on just in that scene. In that
Yes.
episode, there's so much going on.
There's so much going on, which is how I feel of all of our episodes, but I especially feel the LA ones. It's just jam-packed. And because visually it's also so different.
Right.
So much to take
Sunnier
in.
and-
So gorgeous. The palm trees and the car and the outfits are like amped up a bit, It's pretty great. So then we're at the Playboy Mansion, also in those crazy, crazy outfits. And then they're in the grotto, which is scary. And I wasn't there for all that, right? I wasn't there for all of it. I don't know. I don't know what was going on. And then they take a turn. They take the wrong turn. And then Carrie says, it's time to go home. And you're like, yes, it's time to go home. They get home and Carrie goes into her apartment. You just feel so relieved.
You do. And she gets to smoke inside her own apartment.
Totally. Yes.
And be with the real stuff in her apartment because she's like, everything in here is real.
Right. That's important. And I mean, I get that about LA. I don't feel like that's so true anymore, though I'm probably not objective anymore. But I feel like, especially because New York has also really changed. Not to say that it's not real, but like it's
It's pretty bougie.
It's bougie. Good word.
And I love New York, but it's definitely, I grew up in New York, so it's definitely bougier than it used to be.
Right.
But
it
it's still
certainly seems
fabulous.
to be. Yeah.
It's fabulous.
Yeah. I mean, you have to go far out in Brooklyn now to find not bougie. And then it is there. Maybe Bushwick.
Bushwick.
Right.
Yeah.
Right. I've read about this being a trend. Okay, let's talk about Samantha for a second. I'd totally forgotten about the whole fake Fendi storyline. And I think it's so interesting because we don't ever mention child labor or anything because maybe that would be too heavy. But like since then, there's been a lot of education about why you can make a cheap bag, you know, that looks the same. But then also there was, I can't remember which brand it was, and I probably shouldn't say, but there was some brand where they found out that the true brand was also using child labor and that the bag costs a tiny, tiny fraction of what they charge. Yeah. And I feel like now there's a lot more thought and education into fast fashion versus real versus child labor versus not versus what are you actually buying. Not to say that the brands aren't still important. They are. But back then, I feel like that was just the rise of the brand, right? Right. The fact that this guy is selling the fake Fendis and Samantha's like, you can't tell until you look inside. And then it says made in China. I mean, it's all very funny, but like also still so relevant.
Completely relevant. And that's what's interesting. Sex in the City, I feel like every episode is still relevant.
I know, it's amazing. I mean, there are certain things where you'll, like we are talking on the landline phones, you know, sometimes that are so funny. And in the beginning, there's the pay phones. So adorable, right? So adorable. There's things like that are just like things you reminisce about. But the through line, the bigger storylines are very relatable, which is why we're here talking about it. Which is a great
lives
thing.
on. I think it lives on even more.
I agree.
It's gotten even more popularity.
Like, we had no idea. Do you know what I mean? Like the success in general, the first time was amazing to us.
I bet.
Yeah. Yeah, because you never know. You know, you could be making a great show and it could not be popular. You know what I mean? Right. Yeah, you never know. And now it's just craziness in our industry. So Samantha is in LA, you know, she's going around, you know, she sees Hugh Hefner, who's basically the celebrity sighting that she wanted, which is kind of funny, but I guess makes sense, right? And then she goes out shopping, but she's wearing that insane hat, which I had not remembered at all with like the pieces.
That black hat. Yeah.
It's a big hat. I don't know how they talked Michael Patrick into it.
Yeah.
But they did. And then she buys the fake Fendi because she's spending all her money on clothes. And she's walking down Rodeo, which I feel like she does later on, like in the movie, maybe?
Yeah.
Don't we have for some reason, she goes to LA at some point in the future.
Yes, that's when she's managing
Smith Jarrett.
Good
one, yes. Yeah. And she's got a Mercedes and she's shopping. She's got a little dog.
Oh, a cute little dog.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah, we haven't even gotten there. But
Great
it's kind of an interesting, like, you know, beginning of what we're going to see. Yeah. And I thought, oh gosh, sometimes I remember visuals. Like I had remembered that hat, but I thought that was in the later time that she comes to Rodeo. But no, it's way back in the third season.
It seems later.
Doesn't it?
Yeah.
I agree totally. Yeah. Then let's talk about Miranda for a second. So Miranda goes off to meet Lou from Letterman. And this is just so funny. And he's not angry anymore. So that's exciting for her and makes her go like, you know, should maybe I try to be less angry? So for a little bit, it kind of works. And he asks her to go on a hike and she looks like, you know, slightly traumatized, which is kind of funny too, because this is what everyone here does.
I know. I don't want to do it.
You don't want to do it?
No, I'm not into hiking. I'm still New York
so
that way.
Much. Yeah. I mean, this is Marsh and I used to hike all the time. I used to hike with everyone. That was what we did because I'm sober. So I don't, you know what I mean? We hiked. We went to yoga class and we hiked. I haven't hiked that much lately. The fires ruined some of my hiking places, though. Yeah. I think one of them reopened. But yeah, I used to hike every day.
Will Rogers is open.
Yeah, that's what I meant.
You could go there,
but it's not all open.
It's not all.
I know, open, and I'm just kind of scared to go. You know what I mean?
I'll go with you if you
Will
want.
You?
Yes,
okay, I thought you didn't want to hike there, but you know what's nice? They have the lawn. You can just picnic on the lawn.
Really pretty.
Yeah, you don't have to hike, right? You don't have to like sweat.
I like it.
Okay, cool. So, okay, Miranda, this guy's adorable. I don't remember this guy. I'm glad you've seen him in other things. I don't think I ever met him.
Yeah, he was completely away from, I didn't meet him either.
Yeah. Completely away and really good. And he's writing for a hit sitcom that's somehow about people in New York. And I was trying to think, like, they're not talking about Friends, are they?
Friends.
Were they talking about Friends? Okay.
He's talking about Friends because Sarah Jessica is like, and there's a feisty waitress.
That's true. Oh my God. I didn't put it together, Jennifer. Thank you. And at one point they make some joke about how you couldn't afford the New York apartment. And I'm like, it's so funny because this is also things people say about us. You know what I mean?
Oh yeah, totally. But your apartments were a lot more accurate, I thought.
My apartment had to do with Trey, right? And then before Trey, you never see my whole apartment anyway, right?
Yeah.
And then her apartment, I feel like, is very accurate, except that it was supposedly on 76th Street, which is so bizarre. And somehow I hadn't remembered that because we always filmed on Perry Street, which is where I thought it was. So I mean, that was a big, like, what? When we started the podcast, I'm like, she lives on the Upper East Side? What? Apparently she does. Or did, because she moved to Gramercy Park. That's where we left her, in the old beautiful apartment.
Gramercy Park, so beautiful.
So beautiful. I lived Gramercy Park adjacent at one point.
Oh, beautiful. My father had a studio, 15 Gramercy Park, and the keys to the park. So beautiful. Amazing. Best real estate in New York.
Best real estate in New York. So we had a deal for that apartment there that was a real place, you know, with the beautiful gate and the balcony in the front and the stained glass door. You know, it's all so beautiful down there. The ones that have been, you know, kept nicely. And right towards the end of the third season, they were like, no, we don't want you guys to film down here anymore.
Why?
Because there was someone down there. I really should be saying none of this, but it's great fun because now I can because the show's over. There was someone on the park, right? So, you know, like if you're facing the park, that's like the prime real estate and you're all part of the group that gets the keys. You know what I'm saying? You're kind of the, And he was remodeling his brownstone and he didn't want to compete with the trucks and whatever when we would work. And everyone suspected that he was doing things without permits.
Oh,
now I know if none of this is true, which is why I can say it, right? But he went to the neighborhood agreement people or whatever, you know, the committee and said, like, we've got to pull we can't. I'm not going to let them work. And everybody in our world was in just a whole panic. So Sarah had to go and film things through the end of the season before they pulled it away. I know. But we had built almost the whole thing on a lot, you know, a studio. So like her whole backyard was built so that we could flood it because they flooded it they built the garden and that had to be controlled because the weather in New York, as you know, you can't control that. Yeah. So they built all of that, which was great. But we had to film the front because we couldn't recreate that.
No way.
Yes, way.
That's like the Brady Bunch.
Is it?
Yeah. They had the front of a house and then shot inside.
Was it the house?
The house. They just used the exterior for the television show and then everything shot on the
Got it.
I love stories like that. Thank you so much for telling us that.
It's interesting, right?
Yeah.
I know the weird stuff you have to deal with. Okay, so wait, Samantha, Miranda with this guy, Lou. So Lou is a writer. And then at one point when he doesn't want to eat the food, she's like, but you're a writer. You're not even on camera. And he's like, but people look at me or whatever. And I just know that was all of our writers. Going through the fact that like you have to get on stage now, you have to do press, you have to get on stage with us when we win things. Thank God we're winning things. But you know what I'm saying? Like it is a lot of pressure.
And nobody wants a fat story editor.
No, that's what he says. I mean, I don't know if that's true or not, but I understand the fact.
I want a fat story editor. That means that like they're writing good jokes and, you know, they're having fun.
That's a good point. I mean, yeah, that person, Letterman Lou, might be taking it a little too hard, but I do feel like our writers felt
the pressure.
Yeah, I do. We should have one of them back to talk to us about it.
Yeah.
But I mean, I do. Because I think that this was the time when things were getting so much more kind of heightened in terms of people watching and us getting nominated for stuff. And the first time we went to the Golden Globes when we won, I mean, we were like, what? You know, Michael's got like a full curly afro. It's so adorable.
He has this Irish fro.
Totally. It's like the cutest thing in the world. But we did not know what we were doing.
So funny.
Like we didn't have stylists. I don't think I went to Richard Tyler and tried on dresses that were like in the window. Do you know what I'm saying? They were so nice to me. He was so nice to me. But there was another woman at the first Golden Globes that we went to wearing my same dress because it was in the window. It was like anyone could walk in there and buy it. You know what I mean? We didn't know what we were doing at all. at all. But
that's amazing.
I think back to just the innocence, you know, like
it's kind of fun.
It's adorable. It's adorable. I mean, yes, things could go wrong, but also it was sweet. It was like sweet times.
So happy and innocent.
And shocked, you know, by it all. Shocked. But I think also the writers were going through that, which is why they're writing this. Because we'd, I think, run our first Golden Globe before the season or during the season or sometime soon around. I don't know. I should figure these dates out. But, you know, sometime around now, right? And it was raining that day. So like I have terrible, terrible hair that first time we won the Golden Globe.
You've never had terrible hair.
Oh, you're so sweet.
Your hair has never looked
terrible.
You're
so sweet. I think it looked pretty bad. Then let's talk about Charlotte for a second. Because this is one of those scenes. There are occasionally times where I'm looking back and I'm like, yeah, I don't think I did great in that scene. I'm very hard on myself. I know. So I'm still in New York. I did love that we see this scene of Trey and I where I'm all dressed up and I say like, how did I do? And he says, you did great. And everything's beautiful and so perfect. And then I'm like, you know, I have an idea, doctor, or whatever I say. And then he's like, no, I'm going to go on a run. And I say, maybe we should think about Viagra. And he's like, don't you know it's dangerous and heart problems run in my family. And then he goes out to run. It's like so sad.
It is sad. And I didn't know that Viagra is bad for men's hearts.
I don't think it is. We should probably research.
We should research that. Yeah, because my husband was like, it's not bad for your heart.
Yeah, I think it was new. I think at the time it was relatively new, which is also like it was hysterical to think about, right?
Oh my God.
Because we do that other episode. Isn't it wild to think about? Like we do another episode where we talk about Viagra for women. Like can women take Viagra? Samantha gets into Viagra. It was new and exciting and different. And I don't think anyone knew really, right? But I also think that Trey's just trying to make excuses because he doesn't want to deal with his problems, which is of course why the relationship.
But you handled that scene beautifully.
Oh, thank you. That one's okay.
You were
it's coming that I don't like. Thank you. I like that scene. But then I leave and I surprised Carrie at the door of her hotel, which is so funny. And she's like, you could have just called me. It's kind of funny and adorable. But Carrie's the only one who knows at that point about the problems because I told her at the wedding under my veil, right? Yeah. Trey can't get it up. The scene I didn't love myself in is the one, basically our coffee shop in LA, where I just suddenly blurt out to everybody that we've never had sex.
And you're like, my marriage is a fake pandemic.
Right. I don't love that. I don't love my performance there.
Well, I will say that you delivered that line. That is a very hard line.
Thank you.
To sell. My marriage is a fake Fendi bag.
I didn't love the line and I didn't love my delivery.
I didn't love the line, but I loved your delivery.
Thank you.
Perfect.
Thank you, Jennifer. That's very nice. That's very nice.
You're a great actress.
Oh, you're so sweet. Thank you. It's one of those ones too where like, there's certain things that Charlotte does repetitively, right? And one of them is like to blurt things out emotionally kind of. And it's hard then when I look at it now, like I see the challenges and that they have me doing kind of similar things. And so how do you make that different? And I don't know that I was smart enough to think about that then, right?
Yes, you were.
Okay.
You inherently did it perfectly.
You're so sweet.
Oh my God, your Charlotte is like perfection.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
But that is weird on a television show. They're like, she does this. So we're going to write that a million times. I mean, we're tricky. Not that. I wouldn't say that our writers really went too far, but I do think that they thought that each character had their lane, right? And so like for a while they would say to me like, you know, Charlotte doesn't get angry. And I'd be like, that's so crazy, you guys. She has to get angry. You know, but they just had their ideas, right? But you got angry in your Charlotte way.
I did.
It wasn't like a real like it was like a positive, sweet anger.
I mean, for a while. We're gonna get to a point where I actually get really angry. I don't know when it's coming, but it's coming. It's coming. Good. I mean, certainly by the first movie, maybe that was the first time. I don't know, but they let me get really angry in the first movie. Thank God.
And that was smart.
Right? Yeah. Right. Yeah. So Charlotte shows up in LA so excited because she can just pretend she's single, I guess. You know what I mean? Like at the Playboy Mansion. And then she tells them it's a fake Fendi. And then I think Samantha's so funny in this scene where she's just like, you've never had sex. Like she just keeps saying it. And I mean, yes, it is crazy. Like I married this guy and I have never had sex with him. It's so
happens
bonkers.
A lot, though.
Do you think?
Yeah.
What?
And I think Samantha's just saying that because all she can think about is sex.
I mean, for sure. But I also think, I think for a grown woman who obviously I mean, I also understand Charlotte has her fantasies, and Charlotte really is trying to make life fit into her fantasies. And as we know, that's not really going to work, right? But she's giving it everything she's got. You know, she's going to try as hard as she could possibly try. Doesn't work because that's just not how life goes. You know, you can't like will it to be, you know, exactly how you want it. You have to deal with who's really in front of you, right? And he's complicated. And I think the sad thing for me, which we're starting to see and we're going to see more of, is the problem is that he doesn't want to deal with it, right? That's the real problem.
He's so waspy.
He's so waspy and shut down. And it's sad. Yeah. But he's just so gorgeous and he's Kyle.
Oh my God. Kyle MacLachlan.
What
dreamy,
you gonna do?
Dreamy.
So beyond dreamy. I was lucky. But it's sad to watch the storyline. And a lot of the storyline I don't remember either because I just remember Kyle. You know, I remember working together. Don't remember the
Bunny effed it all up.
I know.
Bunny was like a hard-on killer. I thought she was the biggest hard-on killer.
No, of course. And she I get that. You have like a weird relationship with your mother. It's hard to somehow then be just like great with your wife or your girlfriend or whatever. You know what I mean? I get that. But still, it's interesting. But also Franny was a love. She was just great.
She was so sweet.
So it's hard to remember
I love that actress.
What's on screen. Frances Sternhagen, amazing woman.
Yeah.
Okay, so Charlotte comes. Then she's just like, I'm going to be, you know, like I'm single with the girls in LA. And then we end up at the Playboy Mansion. I'm talking to this dude, Ian, who's supposedly an art collector, but literally has nothing interesting to say.
He comes from nowhere.
I know. Like,
there's no explanation.
No, I'm just there laying on the rocks. I'm like, what's happening? I have zero memory. Okay. Like literally nothing. Like almost negative nothing. Like maybe it was my doppelganger there. I don't know. Interesting, right?
Interesting.
Or it's just 6 a.m. or whatever before the sun comes up. I have no idea. But I'm just there giggling, drinking like a fool. And then he says, you know, let me do something for you. Let me buy you some boobs. And I'm like, I don't need any boobs. And I get up and leave, which is pretty funny.
It's very funny.
It's pretty funny. And it's very LA of the moment.
It's so LA at that time.
Right? Yeah.
Oh my God.
I mean, the boobs were everywhere.
I'm going to buy you some boobs.
Yeah. The boobs were just like, I mean, yeah. It's so crazy to think how like brainwashed you get.
Yes, it is. And at that time, I think we were all still a little bit brainwashed, you know?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Because I don't think there wasn't social media yet, right? So there wasn't really, you just thought you have to be like the models or like whatever the thing is, you know, that's put out there. And so all of us that were trying to act were just trying to fit in to what we thought they wanted from us.
Exactly.
It was very hard.
But then you're on the show where you're actually playing the parts of the men, like the parts that the men would have got.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's incredible. It meant so much.
Definitely. But we still had to fit in the clothes.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And you still had to go to photo shoots where there were only sample sizes. And back then they didn't cut for any hips or butt or thighs or anything. It was just straight, okay? Like I would be on whole photo shoots where not one single thing fit me. Not one single thing.
No.
Like the stress was so intense, you know?
No.
So sometimes I would just bring a bag of my clothes, like basics, like black pants or whatever. Yeah. And I would hide it until I needed it.
That's so smart.
Well, because I mean, can you imagine? Like there's literally nothing. There's nothing on the rack that will fit you.
It's embarrassing, like fittings.
Horrible.
I hate fittings.
Horrible.
Of any kind.
I mean, I love fittings if they're with our people, right? Because you're at home. They make it fun.
Yeah.
They obviously know your body. But sometimes when you're going to other fittings where you don't know the people, it's scary. It's still scary. And this is after 30 plus years of me doing it.
Interesting.
Isn't it?
I feel the same way.
Right?
Yeah.
It's just a difficult and awkward thing. And I think like from the outside, it seems glamorous and amazing. And there's part of it that is, right? That you even get to go to Armani or whatever it is, right?
Right.
And hopefully there's some nice person there. Like my stylist now at this point in time was one of the, you know, personal stylists at Armani who would dress us.
Well, I have to say your clothes on Sex and the City were the best, I think. I mean, I loved all of them, but I mean, your style and the way you wore them.
Thank you. That's so sweet.
Favorite.
It developed over time. You know, it really did. It developed over time and it took a while for Pat and I to kind of figure out like a commonality, right? Because Pat came from her kind of alternative fashion world, which was amazing and really valid. And really changed television that we got to have her and have her put a twist on it all. But I didn't necessarily fit into that, right? And part of it was that I didn't think Charlotte fit into that. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
But Pat felt like the way Upper East Side Ladies dress was boring, which I totally understand.
Yeah.
So she wanted to twist it, but then also I just had a body that, like, there was at that point in time 10 inches difference between my waist and my hips. Pat did not understand that. She would just be like, what is that? And I just be like, I don't know, Pat. I just run and run and run.
It's
and then
curves,
I do yoga,
baby.
And then I hike and then I go to the gym and then I mean, you know what I mean? And she's like, I don't know what to do with that. I mean, this went on, you know, on and on.
Wow.
And then the movie came out, Secretary, with Maggie Gyllenhaal.
Oh, yeah.
And you remember that movie? It was like sexy, kind of light S&M.
Yeah.
And she's wearing like pussy bow tops and tight skirts. And the sexy secretary became very in. And Pat was like, sexy secretary. And I was like, yes, thank God. Yes, let's do that.
Oh, it's so great.
But we hadn't found it yet here at this point in time.
No, it was kind of the only one who really had established her look was Carrie, right?
Very, very much. And I mean, Sarah and Pat were very on the same page, which is great. But I also think, like, when I've been watching the show, I mean, I would say Samantha also, because she's very, like, there were some past episodes, like she comes to my house one time, she's drunk and she's wearing very sexy lingerie with a fur coat out on the street on Central Park, on Fifth Avenue, I guess. Central Park West. That's where Charlotte lived then. Like, I mean, iconic Samantha.
Love it.
Very much there. She goes to the firehouse. Do you remember in that turquoise dress? That's already happened. She puts on the fireman things. Samantha also pretty much from the get-go was pretty vividly created.
Yeah.
You know? And Miranda, I think, too, because the suits, right? Like, do you remember all her kind of slightly 90s power suit situation?
Amazing.
All of that was there from the beginning. And I mean, I did have softness. I had like flowers and prints and things, but we hadn't gotten the full. But I love, like, when I see this episode, I love everything Charlotte's wearing.
Oh my God.
Yeah. So it was working. It was working.
Yeah.
We're just not quite gelled yet. You know what I mean? All right. Are there any other things that you remember that we didn't touch on?
I don't know. I feel like we did it.
We covered a lot.
I'm just so happy to be here. I mean, and that episode was so much fun.
It's so great.
I recommend people watch it right now.
I recommend we go rewatch it too. I mean, that's how I felt when I ended it. And the other thing that I think is really interesting, and I've been thinking about this, I don't know if you've seen Heated Rivalry.
Yes. Dude.
Do you love it?
I love it.
Isn't it incredible?
I love it. It's amazing.
And I'm thinking about...
Those butts are so tight.
Those butts are something, for sure. For sure. I mean, that's one thing it has going for it. It has many things going for it. Hannah has now watched it. We have to ask her later. But one of the things, I'm mulling over all the reasons that it's this huge phenomenon. And I have many theories, and many people have many theories. And I saw Esther Perel. Do you know Esther Perel, the wonderful therapist? She was on Instagram, I think yesterday, talking about how it's a corrective experience watching it. Because as you're watching it, like, for instance, if you think about that press conference early on where Hudson's character doesn't know what to say. I'm now switched to the real people because, you know, they're all infiltrating our brain at all times. He doesn't know what to say. And then Ilya, the Connor's character, speaks up for him. Like, then when he, in the end, you know, confesses to his mom the truth, and she says, what did I do wrong that you couldn't tell me? Like, it's like everything you would dream of people saying, they say, they do. Like, it's like a healing experience to watch it.
But not real life.
Exactly. Like, it's kind
we
of...
all keep it in.
Right? But isn't that kind of amazing? Why? I think it's why people have such an emotional connection to it. But I also feel... And I was thinking about that versus our show, because one of the things that the first show and definitely the second show did was show all the crazy kind of bad, embarrassing things that could happen to you, right? And that you were going to be okay. Do you know what I mean? That you were going to be okay. You were going to go tell your girlfriends about it, and all of you were going to laugh. Do you know what I mean? Like, it might feel so embarrassing at the time, right? And like, there would be different ones of us over time, of the actors, who would be like, oh, they embarrassed my character the most. No, they embarrassed my character the most.
They embarrassed your character the most in the movie.
So true. Okay, so true. And I tell Michael Patrick this
because it's happened to
it has happened to that's what Michael Patrick said at the time. I mean, yes, many embarrassing things happen, but I mean, if you were to ask any of us, you could go down the list of Miranda's embarrassing things. Like she vomits on someone she's having sex with. Do you remember this?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, there's a lot for everybody. Do you know what I mean? But that was kind of the point.
It's
right?
so therapeutic.
Right, it's therapeutic, but in a different way.
Yeah, in a different
Not
way.
in a corrective way. Like, and I think obviously this is 2025. It's 2026. Ooh, that was scary.
I keep saying
it's
2026.
Yeah. I know, right? Yeah. We need healing. Like the world is a really big wreck, right? Back in 2000, the world wasn't this much of a wreck yet either. Like it was a different time. Do you know what I mean?
No, not at all.
And I think there's something also to be said about collectively enjoying media and storytelling, right? Which back in the day, in the beginning, not everyone had HBO. So it was this thing like, can I go to someone's house and watch HBO? Can I go to a party and watch the show, right? Because people wanted to do it together. And I think that's what's happening with Heated Rivalry, where you can go to bars and people are watching, or people are rewatching, and then conversing on social media about it to connect.
We need that. We need that right now. We really need that.
Exactly. And I think it's the power of good storytelling.
Yeah. And something that's open and honest. I don't know. Like with Sex in the City, I was like, oh my God, for women, it was like, what you were doing was like what we were going through, and like, oh, I feel okay to like sex, and I feel all right,
Definitely.
It was a confidence booster.
Definitely. And that's what we wanted. That's what we wanted to do. That's what we were trying to do.
Spades.
Totally. But I think the thing about Heated Rivalry, which is interesting, is the women watching Heated Rivalry as an antidote to toxic masculinity.
Right.
Right? Like there's so many interesting cultural elements of Heated Rivalry and the success of Heated Rivalry. And I was talking to a friend I don't know if I should say, I was talking to someone yesterday about
You can name drop, girl.
I don't want to name drop. I don't want to name drop because I don't want to.
The time.
Yeah, now I can't even remember what I was going to say because, I was talking to someone yesterday who's super knowledgeable about the business, who's a producer now, who used to be at HBO. And I was saying to her, it's so amazing that Jacob Tierney, who did Heated Rivalry.
Caroline Albrecht.
Yes. Wait, no, not Albrecht. Carolyn Strauss.
Carolyn Strauss.
There, we married the names. Strauss. They're definitely not married. Carolyn Strauss. I was talking to Carolyn Strauss. Very good, Jennifer. You read my mind.
Very smart.
She's very smart.
Yeah.
And we were talking about the success of Heated Rivalry. And she was saying, I said, it's so hard because first of all, right now in our business, no one's greenlighting anything really because our business is upside down.
Sad.
Yeah, it's really sad and scary.
Yeah,
scary for everyone. Scary for everyone of all layers of our business. Yeah. But also we were talking about budgets and choices and fear, right? Because I was saying, I feel like there's so much fear now about what to do, what not to do.
Right.
Don't offend anyone. No. Like everyone's just can't function.
So we're going to have nothing.
Exactly.
And then less because like we're putting out nothing,
I do know. But I also feel, and I feel like Heated Rivalry is a really, really good example. So they had it set up at a big streamer here. I don't know which one. It was not HBO Max, I'm pretty sure. And they were giving them a bunch of notes. And they told them, because it was from the book, right? And they told them, Francois has been out in the world saying this. They told them no kissing till episode 5.
What?
I know. It would have been horrible. So whoever it was like, totally gonna gut the insides of what it was, right? So Jacob Tierney, the showrunner, the incredibly brilliant Jacob Tierney said, okay, you know what? We can't do this. I'm going to take it back to Canada. I'm going to go to Crave TV or whatever the app is called. Crave, just Crave. I'm going to go to Crave. They're not going to give us so much notes. He also basically didn't have a budget, right? Like they made it for almost nothing in 36 days, right? But look at how incredible it is. But that's because the budget wasn't very high. So people weren't very scared. And he was very smart and he could do what he wanted to do. And this is what it takes.
Sex in the City, you didn't have like a lot of notes from HBO.
We had no notes. That's why I was talking to Carolyn about this.
That's why it's so good.
That's true. But we had
Seinfeld, Larry David kicked them out of the
because they tried.
And they didn't have notes. But those notes are so destructive. They're horrible.
Oh, yeah. She has to give me this signer because I'll talk forever. So I have a super burning question, Jennifer.
Yes. Please.
Are you a Charlotte?
Oh my God, what a good question. I wish I was a Charlotte. I'm a Carrie.
Are you sure?
I'm pretty sure, just because I grew up on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. I dressed like her. I was very like free-spirited. I wish I was a Charlotte.
I kind of feel
Charlotte.
like you kind of are.
I'm kind of Charlotte too.
Okay.
I'm Charlotte in many ways. I'm a combo. I think I'm a combo.
I'm a combo too of Carrie Charlotte.
You are too.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, because when I saw you playing Charlotte, I was like, I know her. I was like, she's doing a really good job because she's not really Charlotte.
Thank you. That's so nice. See, everyone in the world who doesn't know me thinks that I'm really not acting because I am Charlotte. They don't know.
You just did it so well.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
I never thought of you as a Charlotte type.
Well, because my regular life. I mean, I think that the thing that's interesting about acting is that part of what you respond to is like energetics of people, right? So I think the energetics of Charlotte, like you have the same energetics as Charlotte and myself, which is like friendly, warm, enthusiastic, cheerleader, those elements, right? And that's who Charlotte is in the foursome, like that's an important kind of energetic beat that she provides. Do you know what I'm saying?
You're so free spirit.
I am. Not at all like Charlotte. Not at all like Charlotte.
You're not like planning things out at all. And
I'm not. Do you remember
really
back in the olden days, people would say like, where are you going to be in 5 years, 10 years, 20 years? And I would just be like, what?
I just hope I'm alive.
Totally. Exactly. I remember such a... like everyone would just be like, that's the question. You have to make a plan. And I was like, what? You people are crazy. Like I'm definitely much more hippie than Charlotte.
You are. Yeah. And you're all like, I don't know. You're very spiritual and lovely. A lovely person.
And you're a lovely person too. Thank you for joining
Thank
us.
you so much. It was so much fun.
And such good memories. I'm so impressed. All right, so this week's Hyundai Hot Take is Vince Vaughn. It's hard not to call out Vince for his performance in this episode because I know him and it's really funny to see him in this way. We did a movie called Couples Retreat, which would have been, I want to say 2008. And I think we filmed this episode of Sex and the City in 2000. He's just so funny. And he looks so great and he's so loose. And it just really took me back. It just really took me back in the best possible way to the 2000s. So Vince Vaughn, my Hyundai Hot Take, celebrating iconic moments, bold moves, and unforgettable style, just like Hyundai.